Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is hopefully going to be a quick little video. These are little newborn hacks that I have learned along the way. I am a first-time mom, so I do not claim to be an expert, but these are just some things that I kind of realized and learned, and I wrote them down so that I could tell you guys, and then hopefully you could just skip the whole phase of learning these things and you'll just know them before you have kids and you'll just be an expert. Good luck being an expert, because babies are weird. They are so cute, they are so squishy, but they have their own little weird things that you will figure out. These little humans are so weird sometimes. But yes, I will just get right into the hacks. These are some of the things that just made my life a little easier. So these are gonna sound a little random, most likely, but the first thing I have written down is that you can use their foot reflex to dry in between their toes or put lotion in between their toes. So they have this reflex where here's their foot, and if you go like this to it, or if it's kind of curled, if they're curling their toes this way and being a little stubborn, they often curl their toes this way, and you can go like this, their feet will open up and their toes widen. I don't know why, it's just a reflex they're born with, but I think God made it for all of the parents who are trying to dry in between their newborn's toes. Thank you, God. So yes, that is just one way that you can help kind of clean your baby's feet. The next thing I wrote down is in my newborn must-haves is just use Oxiclean for poop stains. Use Oxiclean, the spray, and then I use the powder, and it's like a miracle. Usually even when I use the spray and then I'm rubbing in the spray, the yellow breastfed poop stains are just gone. So that is definitely a hack to use. Find Oxiclean. Another thing I mentioned in my newborn must-haves are changing pad liners. Buy lots of them. Use them in your bedroom or wherever the baby's sleeping. Bring them with you. You can just tuck them under their butt, change their diaper quick. If they get stuff on them, it saves all of the area around where you were changing them on. Next one I have not talked about in any of my videos yet. It is if you're going to give your baby vitamin D if they are breastfed. If you don't, cool, that's your choice. But if you do give them vitamin D, a lot of the hospitals will send you home samples of the Enfamil, and my baby, especially as a new little baby, hated it because it tastes and you have to give them a lot, and it was just it smelled bad. I wouldn't want to eat it. I didn't want to taste it, so I felt bad giving it to him, and he would like choke on it because there was so much. So I went to Target and I bought not the Enfamil, I'm talking about the Enfamil. I bought the Upspring drops. So with the Enfamil you had to give him like this much or something like that. With the Upspring you have to give them like 0.2 milliliters, I think. It's more concentrated and it's flavorless. So if you're breastfeeding and you do choose to give your baby vitamin D, go and get the Upspring brand because it is so much less painful. So much less painful. Yeah, that's all right. It is so much less painful. So much less painful. It is so much more painless. It is so much easier, and your baby likes it so much more. At least mine did. Also, if you are breastfeeding, I have written down that the MAM and the Nook bottles and pacifiers seem to work better for a lot of breastfeeding moms. It might not be the case. I know someone that breastfeeds and they use Avent ones. So like it's just your baby's preference, but it does seem like the MAM and the Nook ones are more of a flatter nipple, and it's more like real life like. I don't know if that's weird. They seem to work really well for breastfed babies. One thing I did not know about these this one doesn't even do it. The little onesies that you can buy, usually they have these things right here that like just kind of overlap each other, and I just thought it was like a cute little feature. When they have a blowout and get poop everywhere, or just an accident, you need to change them and you don't want to like bring this poopy part up over their head, you can fold down the sides and take it down, and so then you're not spreading stuff everywhere. You're keeping their face and stuff clean. So that is one hack to remember. Pull the onesie down. Use the little fold things. When you have a newborn, they often like to be swaddled. So I kind of knew that this was a thing, but I didn't realize like how much babies often like to always be swaddled. Some babies don't care for it at all, but it's our baby, Beckham, liked to have his hands out like from the start. He just liked his body swaddled. He didn't like his arms down, but it can make all the difference in their sleep because they have the startle reflex in the middle of the night and it'll wake them up. So being swaddled helps keep them together and keeps them just like more cozy and stuff and feels like they're in the womb more. And I put a white noise machine or some type of noise to just give them like the most womb-like effect as they're sleeping. So then they sleep longer and you get lots and lots of sleep. Hopefully. Good luck with that. If your baby has reflux, there's lots of different things you can do to help them. You can get medicine for them. One of the best things to do, or easiest things that didn't require medicine, was to tilt his crib, or actually he was in a pack and play at the time, put it at an angle, and so make sure his head is up top. And make sure it's not too much of an angle so that he's sliding down in the middle of the night. Just be like sledding. And then that way, when I would feed him, we would hold him up for like 15 minutes or so after I fed him, and then put him down and he was at an angle, so the food wasn't going back up. He just needed to have all the help he could to have his food go downward. There are many ways to burp, so I didn't know this before. I thought you just smacked him on the back and got a burp up. Burping is so frustrating. Oh, burping is the thing that has taught me the most patience in the past 5 months. I'm not even kidding. You can burp them on your lap, kind of tilt them forward, hold their head if they're a newborn, and then pat their back. Make sure you're putting like pressure on their belly. Or you can put them up on your shoulder. You can kind of lay them across your belly and pat down. My sister-in-law taught me that one. But if you can like not get this air bubble out, one thing to do, I still do it with Beckham, is to like bounce them up and down. Like as a newborn, make sure you have a hold of their head. Kind of just move their body, and it can sometimes work a bubble up. Or one thing I read online that said that it might help with reflux was to have them over your shoulder, put his left arm over your shoulder. Make sure that that was left because your stomach's on your left side. And then just like put pressure against his belly and do circles up. And sometimes you can just move the bubble up to come out, and it's a little less like painful or less, I don't know, mixing things around as this is, and so it might help with reflux a little. But there are many ways to burp your baby. Good luck burping them. If you're pregnant right now, start like working out just for the fact of having enough strength to burp your baby. Another thing that I wrote down, maybe everyone knows this, maybe everyone does it with their clothes, and I just am very naive. If you don't know, maybe you don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many times I just said no. So here's a onesie. I'm gonna put him in the onesie. He does not like clothes going over his head. He doesn't like being dressed at all. It's like the one thing in life he doesn't like. So the easiest way to do it is to make sure you roll their clothes. I got his whole sleeve rolled there, so when I put this over his head and he's sitting there hating it, I can just roll it. This is already over him, and then I go through and I grab his arm, I hold onto his arm, and I pull this down, and then it's straight on him. It's much less painful than like trying to get his arm here and pulling this over, and his arms get stuck. All the baby's arms get stuck because they don't know what they're doing. And then the same with socks. You can roll them, put them on quick, and pants. Just roll all the clothes. Okay, this one's gonna sound weird. When you have a baby and they can't like control their head and they're always doing this, a lot of the time they go ugh, and they just throw their head forward. You want to avoid these times, but it happens to the best of us. They will hit you, and they'll hit you right in the teeth or right in the chin with their tiny little head, and it hurts them. It hurts me too. So one of the things that I found helped the most is if I'm holding my baby, I would like sometimes just sit there like with my lips ready. This sounds so weird, but especially if I saw him going forward, I would just like and catch him with my lips. Like, because your lips are so much softer, I don't know, rather than like, oh, he hit my shoulder, or oh, he hit my head, man, he just keeps going forward. I would just catch him with my lips, and it would almost always catch him, and he wouldn't hurt his head. I think I have a picture of it, like right here. That's just an example of one time, but he really tended to do it a lot when I stood up with him. You can catch him with your lips. I don't know, it sounds so weird, but that's one hack I could think of. Just a few more. It's also a good idea. I think I'm probably a little more risky with this than some people would do, especially with a baby boy, but I like to let him air out when I'm changing his diaper. The last thing you need in there is more moisture. I mean, they like are constantly wetting their diapers and pooping. At least in my mind, I don't want to put a diaper right back on him quick, because that just locks in the moisture. When you have moisture down there and then like your little cheeks are rubbing together, that can create friction, and then that can create a diaper rash. Just let them air out. If they pee, they pee. You kind of have a wipe or a diaper ready ready to just cover him up. I will even like at some point just like blow on his whole, like his legs, on the creases of his legs to make sure that they air out. And we've had like one diaper rash, so just let him air out, let him be free. Just let him be free. The next thing is going to differ based on your parenting style and what you want to do. If you want to be scheduled more with them, if you want to follow their schedule more, it's up to you, it's your choice. But if you are going to do a more like parent-led schedule, you can read the Baby Wise book. I don't like agree with everything in that book. I think that there's like aspects of it that work, and then some things you just need to figure out what works best for you and your baby. But the thing that helped the most as a newborn was to try and do an eat-wake sleep cycle. That would just, it helped me so much to know that, okay, why is he crying? It's because he just woke up and he needs to eat. Or he is just a little fussy because he had a short awake time and now he just needs to go back to sleep. Immediately when he woke up, I'd feed him. And as a newborn, sometimes you wouldn't get any wake time. They just fall right back asleep. But I would try and have him be awake for just a little bit and then he'd fall asleep. And then we'd do this the same cycle over and over again. And it really did help me. I know I had like a really good, easy baby, but I never, hardly ever, maybe twice in his whole life so far have thought, why is he crying? I don't know why he's crying. Because I always be like, oh, it's his time to eat. Oh, it's time to sleep. So if that's your thing, the eat-wake sleep cycle works really well. Okay, and the last one, I don't know if you guys saw that Facebook video or YouTube or something where the dad had a newborn on him or close to him and all he would do is the noise and she calmed down immediately. That is most definitely a thing. Babies love vibration, feeling the vibration. I mean, they were like in your belly for 9 months, so they love sound and calming noises and the vibrations that come from your voice. So one of the best ways to get them to sleep, if you have them here, is to hum or even to just do the constantly. Or eventually, one of the things that worked really well for him was to do the shh, like shh. If you just do, sometimes you can do like a pulsing shh. Babies are very calmed by a loud shush or a very like deep hum. I don't know why. Oh, I have to sneeze. Ugh, I have to sneeze. It worked really well in between the time where he was a newborn and he slept all the time and to where now he goes down for naps on his own. There was a point where like he needed to go to sleep following his nap schedule, but he couldn't on his own. And so we would kind of bounce him a little, have a blanket up against his head so that he could feel it right here. And then we would just shh with white noise in the background. And it worked every time. He'd just fall straight asleep. All right, so hopefully those are helpful. I don't know if they were totally random and totally useless, but if they are helpful, let me know down below because that's my goal. Hopefully they are. They were kind of just things that made life easier. Hopefully they make your life easier too. Good luck to all you mamas out there who are going to have little ones soon. Life is so good with a baby. I'm so excited for all of you. Leave me any video ideas down below. If you have any other tips, newborn hacks, leave those down below for all the moms watching this too. My camera just died and I was like 2 seconds away from ending the video. That always happens. But yes, hopefully you guys liked this. Hopefully it was helpful. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!